Hi all you Project 52 pros. This is our first video. I'm going to do these things for every assignment. What we're looking at today is kind of the introduction document, tell you a little bit about my goals. My goals for this project is to have every one of you shooting a professional job, or hopefully more, by the end of the year. Those of you who are already shooting professional jobs, I hope to up the game for you. So if you're shooting locally, I want to move you regionally. If you're shooting regionally, I want you to get a national gig. If you've never shot before, you will be by the end of this workshop. Okay? That's my goal. That's my first goal. Second goal is to explore a little bit how we all see the world and how differently we see the world, and how that can help us as a community help each other. And I think that's one of the things that's missing a lot on the forums and on the internet these days, is really that sense of community, that sense of having somebody, you know, got your back a little bit. And I think this Pro 52 and the regular Project 52 has ended up being very much like that, but I think this Pro 52 group is going to end up coalescing to a very tight group. But you know, when you're a photographer, you got to wear a lot of hats. One of the documents I mentioned, and the document I mentioned, I want you to think of it. What would happen if you had just inherited a business? Just today inherited a business. That's interesting. I've been out in my front yard, you know, every day for 3 weeks, and a plane has never flown over, but today. Gotta love it. If you got a job, if you got a business that was handed to you right now, let's say the business has 400 employees, creates widgets, creates something, and it ships it, and you've just today been gotten the reins. It's yours, and they look at you and say, "What do you want to do?" What are you going to tell them to do? Are you going to tell them to increase shipping? Are you going to tell them to cut the ad department? Are you going to tell them to restripe the pavement and the loading dock? You're going to bring up the R&D guys and yell at them for something? No, of course not. You don't even know what you're doing yet. You got to figure out where the fat is, where the lean is, what you need to do, how you need to move, what do you need to do, all these things. So you got to research your job. You just can't walk in and start giving orders. It's kind of the same way when we build our own business here. You can't just walk in and start, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do something else. We got to have a plan. Most people spend more time planning their vacations, or hell, their weekends, than they do planning their business. So we are going to plan the business. I'll tell you this, I'm not really big on the big giant business plan. Been there, done that with a lot of clients, thinks a lot of crap. I've rarely ever seen a big business actually follow that business plan. So we're not going to write a big business plan. For those of you who are thinking, oh God, I'm going to write a business plan. No, it's not going to be that big. But it is going to be kind of a plan that's going to lead you from where you are to where you want to be next, to where you want to be next, to where you want to be next. If we don't know where we're going, we don't know how to get there. If we don't know where we're going to end up, we don't know which path to take. If I said, let's go on a drive, pack, you'd say, well, am I going to hot weather or cold weather? What should I bring? And I say, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. We're just going to go. You'd be a little trepidatious, you know. You might go, well, you know, dude, I don't think I want to travel with you. You sound like a nutcase. Well, possibly, but you wouldn't do it. And the sad thing is how many people go out there in this business, and the ethereal business of photography, and do this very same thing. I'm heading out the door. I'm all packed. I'm ready to go. And I don't have a damn clue where I'm going. I don't know how to get there. I don't even know what it'll look like when I get there. If you don't have a map or a plan, how do you know when you arrived? So we're going to kind of work on that a little bit, work on that plan. I do ask you to fill out a worksheet that you'll share some with us. And in fact, the worksheet will probably have you doing something that's fairly uncomfortable. A lot of what we do is fairly uncomfortable, I guess. But this is fairly uncomfortable. You're going to do a rating of yourself, or you know, different things like your personality. How do you follow through? Are you ethical and honest and everything? I want you to be as honest as you can when you fill these things out. You're not going to share them, all that information with us. Some of the stuff we are going to talk about, your best job, your dream job, the worst job you've ever had. those things. But the other things are for you, and you really got to do them. Then the hard part is when you have to ask your spouse, your significant other, your best friend, someone that you really believe, to take a look at the same thing and have them rate you. How did you do against what they put you? What if you thought you were the most organized guy in the world and everybody else said you're the most disorganized guy in the world? What if your best friend thought you were the most charming and charismatic woman she ever met, and you think you're a doorknob, right? You see, there's a disconnect with how people see us and how we present ourselves. We need to tighten that disconnect up, because it becomes very, very important as we start to build our career path out, so to speak. So you've got a good assignment to go on. You've got a worksheet to work on, and we have more in store for next week. So get clicking and have a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, I do say on the documents, and it is something important, don't share these with folks. These are yours. They're your documents for you. There'll be plenty of opportunity for other people to get them. So these are yours, just for you. And have a great evening, all right? Talk to you soon.